witnesses for being here today. Mr. Cresa, as ranking member of the Communications and Technology Subcommittee, I've led efforts to rip and replace insecure Huawei and ZTE equipment from U.S. telecom networks. However, I'm really concerned that we're facing a similar problem with Chinese-made grid equipment. It doesn't matter how strong our cyber defenses are if the Chinese military have direct backdoors into Chinese-made inverters, transformers, battery systems across the U.S. electric grid. Mr. Cresa, how big of a problem is this?
Thank you for that question, Congresswoman, and thank you for your efforts to secure our telecom infrastructure. This is indeed a big problem, but it's bigger than an electrical equipment problem, it's bigger than a telecom equipment problem. It's a modern society problem. Any piece of equipment that has a computer in it likely has a major Chinese dependency.
So we can't just carry out a rip and replace program for Chinese-made grid equipment. So let's say this, not everything made in China is spyware. Mr. Cresa, how do we identify with certainty what Chinese-made grid equipment poses a risk?
It is going to require a risk and consequence prioritization framework. We need to consider what kinds of electrical equipment has systemic impact, has the most digital exposure, and focus our scrutiny on there first.
Okay, now, Mr. Tudor, how are the national labs helping to identify potential backdoors or other vulnerabilities in Chinese-made grid equipment?
Yeah, thank you for that question, ma'am. And we have been mentioning that PRC manufactures a majority of our power electronics, battery technology, control equipments. At least 70% of the manufacturers from the PRC and probably 90% of our critical components have at least one critical component from China, so it is a major problem. They have had a systemic 20-year strategy to make these things happen. We work with the Department of Energy, CSER, and the DOE Grid Deployment Office to provide technical assistance to asset owners. The threat hunting and incident response has already been mentioned. We've worked with the integrators and other businesses that work to develop these different infrastructures to help them provide secure designs through cyber-informed engineering. And one of our similar programs, consequence-driven cyber-informed engineering, helps utilities and others identify what the highest risk areas and highest risk components may be to be mitigated. I wrote down, you asked, Mr. Cresa, how do we determine these things with certainty? And I don't know that I would ever, be certain of these things until we could watch the manufacture happen either in U.S. Areas or in partner areas. But reducing risk is what we are all working at and being able to identify and recover.
We have a lot of work to do here then. Ultimately, we should reshore manufacturing for key components of our energy supply chain. And that's why the Democrats included incentives in the Inflation Reduction Act to manufacture inverters, batteries, and other grid equipment in the U.S. And it was an incredible success with dozens of new factories planned here in this country. But the Republicans' bill derailed that momentum. Mr. Cresa, are you concerned that without a concerted government effort to boost U.S. manufacturing of key grid equipment, we can worsen our dependence on competitors like China?
Yes, ma'am, thank you. I'm very concerned, but I think that our experience in securing our telecom infrastructure demonstrates that we need two primary tools to do so, a scalpel and a shovel. A scalpel to excise those high consequence, high risk pieces of technology, and a shovel to build those factories so they can produce their replacements.
Okay, thank you. I want to shift to talk about cyber threats to our local distribution system, the low voltage local transmission system that delivers power during the last mile to our homes and businesses. The local distribution system is vulnerable to cyber attacks and it often receives less attention. Mr. Cresa, are you concerned that we're not paying enough attention to the local distribution system?
Yes, ma'am. It's estimated that 10 to 20% of the bulk power system is under direct federal oversight, but that's why we need the fantastic efforts of my co-witnesses here today to help make sure that those efforts get down to where they need to go.
Absolutely. Mr. Ball, do you share Mr. Cresa's concerns and looking forward?
I do. And we are very focused on trying to fill any gaps there by really channeling information in actionable ways to the local companies that are running distribution systems.
Realizing, of course, that a lot of the states are more involved in that process, right?
Yeah,
yes.
Absolutely.
Okay, I run out of time. I thank you very much. I yield back.
Gentlelady yields back. Chair now recognizes the gentleman from South Carolina for 5 minutes.